Competitive COD League fans, how are we doing? My name is Franz and welcome back to the channel. Guys, today we're going to be going over all the props I went for this weekend. We ended up netting around $1,100 in cash. Pretty good stuff. I will take that for the weekend. And then we're going to jump into some of the analysis I'm going to be giving for this next upcoming weekend props. They haven't unfortunately dropped the board yet. However, once the board does indeed drop, we will get those props out for you guys pronto. We're going to focus on these 2 and 3 mans early in the week, so stay tuned on the TikTok or also on the YouTube. And then we're also going to be knocking out that 6-man the night before the tournament starts. That 6-man is huge because you are guaranteed that 25 times. If you are new to my videos, that is the main goal of these videos. The main goal of this channel is to hit that 25 times for you guys so you can get this $1,000 profit. We're going to go over all the results I had, give you guys some analysis, trends that I'm seeing inside these matches, and then also what we could go for in the future and what we're not going to go for. And if you guys are new to Call of Duty, this next upcoming tournament is under a LAN connection. That means they are under the same roof, under the same Wi-Fi connection. In these online matches, they are kind of spread out all over the country, so it turns into kind of a little online cheese. When teams are in a LAN environment, there seems to be a bit of a skill gap between sort of the bottom 4 and these top 4 teams. And then there's a couple guys in the middle that can either perform on one day or underperform on the other day. So you just have to look out for these props, and they're going to be a little bit different than when they're online matches. Online matches weaken the skill gap, and these matches on LAN will really widen that skill gap, and it will really show who's the better team and who's the worst team. So we're going to predict on the good teams doing well and these really poor teams doing very, very bad in these upcoming props. Anyways, guys, I'll jump into the results here. We went temp on the under. We noticed a trend here that he just starts slow in these map 1s. However, in a LAN environment, temp is one of their main slayers, so I might not run this in the LAN environment. Scrap, we're going to go the more here all day. This guy is just showing up, especially against the standing matchup. They may end up playing in this tournament. I'm very excited to see if that ends up happening, so stay tuned for that. Exceed, we went the under. I have noticed that Exceed hasn't been playing well. This Sieves has been that guy for them. He is dropping numbers in the S&D, and so we definitely will probably go Joe Sieves on a more or keep taking Exceed here on the under. Next up, we have Simp. We went the under. I don't think we're going to take this again, as he is a performer on LAN, and Atlanta is obviously a top 3 contender. Always, Atlanta has, I think, never gotten out of the top 3 in probably the last 2 years. I mean, they've been pretty much insane. So yeah, definitely don't take Simp on an under. This was just a call because he has been starting a little bit slow in some of those online matches. And then Fame, I would definitely look at Fame at taking him in a LAN environment. We will probably take this again on the under, especially if his line's at 49.5. That's pretty insane. And then Hook, I love Hook in a LAN environment. We will probably take a more here. Maybe not a map 1 kills. We might look at a map 4 kills, as Optic kind of ramps up their play towards the end of Respawn series. So in those map 3 and 4, they definitely ramp up their play and definitely get higher Respawn numbers. Moving on from there, we got this 6-pick entry, banking $100 here, and it was 4 out of 5 with 1 do not play. Unfortunately, we went the more here on accuracy. We love this line at 46.5 because accuracy has been dropping numbers for this team. He changed up his class a little bit, and he had a lot more movement on the map. I was expecting him to pop off. Fortunately, Atlanta brought out the big guns, and accuracy kind of dropped a stinker. So rough call for me there. Sorry about that one, boys. But yeah, the rest were clean across the board. Shotzzy, we went obviously that map 4 because we like Optic in the ladder of series, and Shotzzy does tend to start slow in those map 1, so we went map 4 here, and that went through. Yuli, we got clutched on the under. He had 17 going into 2-2 control, and he dropped 2 kills in that final round. We ended up banking the under. Probably going to go for this one again. I bet his line is going to sink after their performances in this stage, so it might be a very low line. We might go map 1 to 3 kills under for Yuli, and probably could work in our favor. And then moving on from there, we went Capsule on the more in map 1 to 3 kills. The only slayer for this Florida team right now is Capsule. Brack and Fellow just kind of flip-flop between who plays better, but Capsule has been that guy for them. So I definitely would take him in an upcoming series that they have. And then Priesta, we went the under. Priesta is a huge call here. He has been playing very poor this stage, and it's mainly because Skies has really ramped up his play. I made an absolute miscall here with Skies, guys. I definitely should have taken Priesta. I said in my YouTube video that that Priesta was a great option. I ended up taking Skies because he does sometimes have these slow map ones, and I just went for a stupid risk. Priesta ended up hitting this mark. He got 19 kills, so we could have taken Priesta here. Congrats to anybody who did in this last one because we only ended up banking 24. This could have been 120 if we ended up getting this one with Priesta, but we went Skies, unfortunately. Assault was kind of unlucky. He had an insane control map for like 3 rounds. He dropped 2 sets of streaks in 3 rounds, had like 21 kills going into the 4th round. It was so unlucky, and then they ended up losing the map. Seattle then ended up coming back and beating him. So that's the most heartbreaker part about that one, is Assault just randomly decided to pop off for a couple rounds. So we did end up missing that. You probably could have hit Arceus here. I think I said that in my YouTube video, and it might have hit. I'm pretty sure it did. So definitely look out for Arceus. He's kind of checked out. He's kind of memeing on Twitter right now. So maybe look at that as a sign for him not to play that well. And then Pred is just a catalyst for them in S&D. Definitely look at Pred to take him in pretty much anything in a LAN environment. The guy's going to be popping off this stage. I'm definitely expecting Seattle to play very, very well this tournament. I'm hoping for a top 3 or top 4 them, or top 4 for them, as they have been kind of lackluster these last couple tournaments. So hoping for Seattle to have a good showing. And then Fame, obviously we won again. And then Envoy, these two play against each other once again, Minnesota and LA. So definitely look at these two. Or maybe a Kenny. Kenny I know was playing very well in those hard point in control. So maybe look at a Kenny because his line might be a little lower than Envoy's. All right, those were all the props from this weekend. Had 3 6-mans go through, and we ended up banking $1,100 here. So not too bad. We will take that nice chunk of change. I'm definitely excited about that one. We'll go straight into the college loan. So you gotta love that. Guys, I'm gonna go a little bit into the bracket here. I will go over a full bracket in my next YouTube video. Let me know if you guys are interested in that or are enjoying some of this content that's not related exactly to the props. However, that is the main focus, the main strategy. But yes, we're going to go over just these top 4 matches, kind of let you know what I'm thinking, who I'm thinking of betting on even before the props drop. Just give my analysis here. Optic versus Breach. This one is always a banger. Some people tend to say that Boston's more of a lower caliber team. However, they just match up really well against this Optic Texas team. However, Optic is 5-0 in this series. I do expect them to come out here hopefully with a 3-1 I'm expecting. But you could see it go the distance. I'm going to probably go either a Dashy on an over in S&D because the line's probably around that 6.5. You'll probably look at a Hook or a Shotzi here for a respawn, maybe to go over on. If you're looking for an under, Ghosty is that guy, as he is more of the position AR for this team. However, Dashy's been picking up that role as well, so I wouldn't really bet on a Dashy or a Ghosty in a respawn. I would probably go the Moors for this Hook and Shotzi duo, as they are probably one of the best SMG duos in the game right now. Line might be pretty low, especially if you get it early, so maybe look at Beans. Nero is also that Slay heavy SMG for them. But really, these Boston guys I feel like they're not going to do well this stage. So you might want to look at an under because I am going to predict that they lose to Optic here. And then they drop down and play Toronto. And they might just go 0-2 and just out of the tournament top 12. But that is just a very tough bracket, getting the major 3 champions and then the 1 seed. So, or the 1 seed and then if you lose that, the major 3 champions. So like, that is a very tough bracket for Boston. York and Vegas, I would look at Hydra. Hydra is a LAN contender, one of the best in the game. I do expect him to hit some crazy marks. Try to get his line early, as it does just ramp up as soon as the board drops. Guy you're looking to underperform here is probably Priesta. You might want to look at Skies here on an over, actually, because he has been really playing well this stage, and he is definitely another LAN kind of player. So I would look at Skies here on maybe an over because his line might be pretty low at that 20 mark. So maybe look at Skies, but I would definitely look at Hydra. And then moving on from there, for the Vegas Legion side of things, we got TJ in our S&D. This is our go-to S&D play because he is the Iceman. I do expect this guy to drop numbers in pretty much every S&D he plays because he is just that good in the game mode. If you're looking at a respawn, probably standing on the over. Am having Vegas beat New York. When we go over our entire bracket, I probably will take Vegas here because New York has kind of looked lackluster. However, you never know with New York. They can play insane, and Hydra is that guy. So if he does have a takeover series in the S&Ds as well, if they somehow can beat Vegas in an S&D, then they could beat them. However, Vegas, all they need to do is steal a respawn and then win both S&Ds. They've been so solid in that game mode. So I'm probably going to take Vegas here. Moving on from there, we got LA versus Rocker. I'm thinking a 3-0 for LA here. All day long, Rocker has looked abysmal. I have no faith in this team, no faith in their hard point. And then their S&D looked really rough against this team. They just didn't know what they were doing on the map. They were just chowing pretty much everything. I put my finger on it. I just don't see this team really going anywhere this stage. So I do believe LA either 3-0 or 3-1 here. I would look at some unders either on Fame or Bance. Those are probably the two slower players on the team. And then I probably want to look at anything other than Fame or Bance on some unders. Don't even think about overs. For overs for Thieves, I'm thinking Envoy is probably a good one. Either in that map 1, maybe go to the map 4, as he does like to ramp up his play, kind of like a Shotzzy character. Octane has been playing insane this stage, dropping numbers in that control especially. So if you're wanting to take a control over, look at Octane for the Thieves. And then next up, we got Surge versus Atlanta. I do not expect Surge to 3-0 them like they did in the online split. I do expect this one to go the distance, especially in a LAN environment. Unfortunately, there is no crowd for this one. This is the only major that there is no crowd, Major 4. However, once Major 5 hits, we're going to be in Toronto. And then, obviously, Champs was just announced that it's going to be in Vegas, which is super dope. Anyways, for this FaZe versus Surge matchup, I do believe FaZe is going to come out on top. And I'm looking at probably a BZ in those S&D kills if you want to take a more there. You're probably looking at Slasher to take an under in hardpoint, as he has been extremely underperforming there. He tweeted out he was like sick or something. However, I do not think it's going to change his hardpoint numbers drastically to make him hit the over. So probably going to take under on Slasher in the hardpoint kills. And then for Surge, you're looking at Pred, of course, for the over. Maybe take accuracy on an under. I really liked him. He played really well this stage, but you might want to take accuracy. He hit the over when I went under, and he went the under when I hit over. So I just bad calls on his matches this stage. So really not good for me. But if you want to take accuracy over or under, that's kind of a risk, up to you. I would look at probably Pred or Sib on these overs here. Maybe Sib. He probably has a very good line, and he did pop off against this Atlanta team. And he might just roll that right into the tournament. So those are just my thoughts for these first 4 matches. I am going to get a video out tomorrow for this upcoming board. Hopefully the board drops in time, as we will drop probably a 2 or a 3-man tomorrow, and then we're going to drop that 6-man obviously the night before. Or if I'm seeing something that I really like, I might lock in a 6-man early. If I'm seeing just an undeniable spread or something like insane, like Pred at 20, that'd be insane. So like something like that, I might drop the 6-man early. Just stay tuned for the videos. They're all going to be coming out very, very soon. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. If you did, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this analysis, enjoyed my take on some of these upcoming matches. I know a lot of people joining us are new to Call of Duty, and I really appreciate you watching these matches with me. I really love Call of Duty, and I hope you guys can enjoy it with me too, because it is such a fun game to bet on, and also such a fun game to watch, especially if you get into these storylines with some of these players and some of the history that these players go back. I mean, Some of them go back about 15 years. I mean, they grew up with each other. So it's really cool to see how they've developed over the years and just really to see how these storylines developed and all the competition that gets involved, all the drama, the Twitter drama that gets involved. It's just super fun to watch. Stay tuned for all of our props coming up. They're going to be dropping as soon as that board drops. I'm really hoping, guys, it drops tomorrow. I do expect it to, so we will get those props coming out to you guys very, very soon. So stay tuned for those, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.